Well, hello, peri and postmenopausers. So listen, we've talked about a lot of subjects, right, since you've been with me. But one of the issues that so many of you guys may be having is around fiber consumption. Many of you may be finding that you've been gaining weight, or you feel like my belly just seems puffy, or either you feel like you constantly struggle with constipation, any type of regularity, and you're just not really sure what to do. Also, some of you may be struggling with high cholesterol right now, and you may be hearing your doctor say, hey, you just need to eat more fiber. Just take those fiber supplements. And many of you are like, I don't even know what to do with that, right? You may have taken fiber supplements and it probably didn't help. Or either you got very uncomfortable every single time you've ever taken a fiber supplement, and now you're like, forget it, I don't want to do it. But let's talk about like what can be happening. Oftentimes, when you try to add fiber to your diet, many of you may be adding a little bit too much at one time because you're taking fiber supplements. It may be too much for you. But it's also when you add fiber supplements, it's typically only one type of fiber, which is usually insoluble fiber. And know that there are two types of fiber: soluble and insoluble fiber. One is going to help things get stuck like in a gel so they can kind of get stuck and move. And then the other one is going to help bulk and move it out of your body. But the problem is typically with the fiber supplements, it's just that one, which is the one that bulks, right? And when it's the one that bulks, it's snatching the water. So all of a sudden, you're in an environment that is bulk and no water, and it's stuck because you don't have enough soluble fiber, which is sticky, right? Help it glide a little bit. But you oftentimes just do not know how to do it. And all you hear is, ladies, we need more fiber. You need more fiber. It's going to help your cholesterol. It's going to help you lose weight. It's going to help you feel more satisfied. It's going to help you be more regular and all these things, right? Because it's going to get the toxins out of your body. It's going to get those of the waste, right? It's going to get waste out of your body like it's supposed to. But the problem is you just don't really understand how to do it. So let's talk about both types of fiber and how to incorporate them into your lifestyle in a way to help serve you a little bit better, so that maybe you aren't just taking fiber supplements and feeling uncomfortable, or constantly spending a lot of money to try different types, because there's a lot of new ones, y'all. There's a lot of new different type of fiber supplements or things that say they're going to help you with regularity. And it's just a lot of dollars wasted when there are many ways that you can do it with whole foods, and you can at least choose the ones you like, right? But you got to know what category they belong in. So first, let's talk about soluble fiber. And that's the one that I said many of you typically can be missing, or you do not have enough of. And why? Because that soluble fiber is typically going to be in your fruits. And so many of you, right? We've been diet warriors for a long time. And so you've cut fruit out of your diet for a while, or you've been really struggling to lose weight. So then you cut out fruit, but then you only eat vegetables. But the problem is vegetables are on the other side of fiber, and we need that fruit. And then many of you may not be eating a lot of beans. And so because it bothers your stomach. So then we're starting to miss whole categories of soluble fiber, which makes it even tougher, pardon the pun, harder for you to go to the bathroom, harder for you to be more regular, and also harder for you to manage your cholesterol. Therefore, you're starting to see some weight go up a little bit, and you're just uncomfortable, and you feeling like your belly is getting bigger because you actually are holding a little bit too much fecal matter all the time, okay? So when you think about soluble fiber, it's things that in terms it calls pectin. And so I know many of you are old enough to understand what pectin is. It's usually something that helps things bind, or pectin is something like sugary. It's something that is made from fruit. It comes from apples. Apples is the main form of pectin found in a lot of ingredients. If you use Jello, anything that you need to stir together so it'll start to like combine a little bit, that's pectin. So you want to really think about how you incorporate soluble fiber. You will digest only very small amounts of it, but in that one, you're able to still extract nutrients from it. You're able to digest a portion of it, and then the rest of it right? As it absorbs water, it turns a little gel-like. So it helps start to collect things, sticky, right? So things like fruits, especially berries, pineapple, these are papaya, these are soluble fiber. Then let's get into your beans, legumes, all of your citrus fruits, apples, oat bran, not wheat bran, but oat bran, barley, nuts, seeds. These are all going to be soluble fiber. And soluble fiber just means that if you drop it in water, chia seeds, if you drop them in water, they will eventually absorb the water. Avocado, they will pull the water in. Okay. And again, it almost means that they'll almost start to dissolve. If you shake them up, if you touch them, they will have absorbed so much of the water. Those are considered soluble fiber. Now let's go to the other side. Insoluble fiber, it does not change shape. When you chew it up, right, it does not digest. You're going to get some of the nutrients from it, which is why it's so important to chew food, right? But then also when we drink it, right, we're getting the nutrients. Let's say if we drink vegetables, that's how we're going to get those nutrients also. But the fiber is the thing that you're also trying to get, which is why it's also cool to do both. Juice it and drink it, right? But that is where you're going to get your insoluble fiber. Those of you who can tolerate wheat, that is a source of insoluble fiber. Whole grains, insoluble fiber. However, oatmeal can hit both sides. Just know that. Any type of whole grain, any of your bell peppers, green vegetables, carrots, those are your insoluble fiber. Those are the things that help create bulk, or they call it a bolus, right? It helps create bulk to the stool. But remember, you need both. You need the sticky substance from soluble fiber to help collect along the way, but then you also need the insoluble fiber to help it stay large enough to push out of your body. All right. And so it's important because, again, oftentimes, ladies, many of you are struggling with irregularity. You're not telling anybody. You're chronically constipated and you're finding that your weight continues to go up and you're not sure why, but it's just that belly is constantly like bloated, right? So again, most of the time, fiber supplements may only have one kind. And if you can find one that has both, then the question is really going to be, is it working like it's supposed to? And then I know so many of you aren't always as keen on taking that many type of supplements. This is a way to eat the food. Now, lentils is an easy way to get a lot of soluble fiber. And it also helps you with slowing down processing food. I like to call it like lentils is like slow release. Like when we take medicine or you take a capsule, it's like a slow release. So you're not absorbing that like that. It is not quick. Like for example, let's say white rice, you're going to absorb that pretty quickly. If you eat some oranges, a banana, you're going to feel that pretty quickly. But lentils is slower and it has a lot of fiber in it. So what you're going to find is you're fuller, longer, you're more satisfied, and it helps you with regularity. So lentils is a great way to boost your fiber without feeling like, man, what do I need to do? And it's a great iron source as well, because so many of my ladies, right, who are on, you probably have struggled at some point with low iron. So that's another great way to do that. But then also fruit. Apples is probably one of the easiest ways for many of you to get fiber, especially in fruit form. If you're somebody who likes berries of all kind, that is a great way to get that soluble fiber. Pears, soluble fiber. Any type of nuts and seeds, soluble fiber. And remember, you only need 1 ounce at a time. That is a little bit of an additional fiber. So those are all easy ways to incorporate more soluble fiber in your diet. Now, insoluble fiber, that's all your leafy greens. Any of your harder vegetables, that's a great way to do it. Any bell peppers, any of your green vegetables, any carrots, butternut squash. These are ways to add things very easily without fiber supplements. So anytime you think about balancing your vegetable load or balancing your fruits and balancing your plate, we want to have a good mix throughout a day of insoluble and soluble fiber. Now, for my ladies, the amount of fiber in a day should look something like 28 grams of fiber, anywhere between 26 to 28 grams of fiber per day. Most of you may be getting 13. Those of you who are getting more, you're going to have to message me and say, Coach Nitra, I always been getting, 28. But most of you are getting less than 20 and sometimes in the lower teens. And that is where you are having chronic problems. All right. So I want you to give this a try. Incorporate a little bit more of both, okay, in your diet. And one other way that you guys can also get some additional fiber is konjac noodles, right? It's the ones that, usually people who are ketoers, they eat those noodles because they're no carb. But those are actually a great fiber source. So they may not be the best tasting. I want to personally tell you that I don't like them, but that's not the point. But they actually work as a great fiber source. You can mix them with something else, right? You can season them, you can mix them with something else, you can chop them up. So it's really more of an add-in and not like a main meal because you may not like the texture. But those are a great way to add in a lot of additional fiber as well. And they're somewhat of what we call a resistant starch also. So think about that, but I want you to give it a shot. Let me know what you're thinking and let me know if you're somebody who has been really struggling with irregularity, or you start adding a little bit more of both of these, or either you may be already taking a fiber supplement and you've been looking for a way to be off of it. This is a great way to help yourself. Now, if you have been also struggling with gut issues, there are other types of foods that you can add in for that, but there's also other ways with probiotics, prebiotics. That's another video. But if that's something that you're struggling with, you can write me as well, or you can just drop that as one of the questions so that we can talk through that a little bit differently. But today is all about fiber. So I want you guys to give it a try in upping that fiber load so you can try to get to 26 or 28 grams. And what that means is you're going to have forms of fiber at every single meal. But again, lentils is a great way to do that. And they're easily found and they're inexpensive. So I want you ladies, give that a shot. Let me know how you do, and I will see you next time.